Welcome back, everyone. So in this video, we want to actually start styling out our products. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my components and I'm going to create a new folder called product card. So inside a product card, we need to create the usual files. We need to make a product card.component.jsx, and we also need to make a product card styles. So product card.styles.sass. Inside of our product card component, what do we need? Well, first we need to import in that style sheet that we've created. So let's do that. And as far as the product card itself is concerned, let's think about what we need to do. So we know that we need a product card component, which is just going to be a functional component for now. Then I'm just going to export out by default the product card. So as we normally do, we're just scaffolding out this component. Now, what we want to do is just take a quick look at the actual finished product. We have some kind of container. We have this button inside, so we're going to need the button component. Then we have the name, we have the price, and we have an image. So let's start building that out here. First, I'm going to make a div that's going to contain all of these elements that I'm talking about. So that top level parent HTML component. And I'm going to say that this is the product card container. It's going to contain all of our product card stuff. Then inside is going to be an image. And this image is going to need a source, which we'll figure out later. Inside at the bottom there, we have some kind of footer. So I'm going to call this div the footer, and I'm going to give it the class name of footer. Then inside, we're going to need to list both the name as well as the cost. So for the span, I'm going to call this the name. And then I'm also going to create a duplicate where the class name is going to be the cost or the price, whichever one sounds more intuitive to you. I'm going to use price. After this, we need to use our button. So let's import in our button component. So I want to say I want to import the button from the button folder. And then I'm just going to apply this button. So this button now, if we remember, this button is white first, then black, unlike our typical button, which is black to white. So this is the invert. So I'm going to say that the button type is equal to the string inverted. And as for the content inside, it's just going to say add to cart. And I'm going to save this. And this is pretty much it. Now, what do we need to do? We need to actually fill in these remaining values. What is the image? What is the name? What is the price? So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that for this product card, you have to pass us the product. And product in this case is going to be the actual product data that we had. So we called it shop data right here. So we know we have ID, name, image, URL, and price. So we want to assume those are the same values we're going to get inside of our product card. So here, what I'm going to do is once I get the product, I want to destructure off what I need. So I know that I need the name, I need the price, and I need the image URL. And this we're going to destructure off of our product object. Then inside of name, I'm going to call the name. Inside of price, I'm going to call the price. As for the image, I'm just going to set the source equal to the image URL. Images also need an alt text, and this alt text is primarily for screen readers. So what we can do is for the screen reader value, we can just describe what this object is. So we can say that this is the name, because our names for our products are generally pretty descriptive. And that's it. We're going to save this, and now we want to use our product card inside of the shop component. So here I'm going to import in product card from the appropriate file. So we need to go up through our pages, into our components folder, into our product card, and then get the product card component. And then what we'll do is we will replace this entire div with the product card. And we're going to say the key is still the ID, but now we need the whole product. So actually we can't even do this. We just want the entire product because that's what our component is expecting. So I'm going to say product ID instead of just the ID destructured. And then I'm going to pass down the product as a whole into this product card. So now if we save this and we come to our application, what do we see if we refresh? Well, actually it looks like we have an error. So let's debug what this error is. Here we see that product card, nothing was returned from render. So this means that inside of our product card, we're not actually returning the correct thing. So this is my mistake. Inside of this component, we need to make sure to return back this value. So now if we come back and let's refresh, here we see that we have our product cards. So this is pretty much in. It's just that we don't have our styling set up. So as you guessed it, inside of product card.styles, I want you to paste in the product card styles file that I provided for you in your resources folder. Now, once you've pasted this in, if you look inside, what you'll see is that we have some really big cards. Now, the reason these are big is because it's adaptable based on the environment that uses them. So where is it that we use our product cards? Well, we're actually using them inside of our shop component. So inside of our shop component, our products are contained in a div, and this div is going to be what actually determines their styling. So let me just show you. I'm going to give a class name to this div, which is products container. And then what we're going to do is create a shop.styles.sass file. And let's make sure to import that styles file so we don't forget about it. And then what we'll do is we'll target this products container that we just created. I'm going to use display grid here because I want to show these in a grid format. I want the columns to be in 4 equal sizes. So here you'll see that repeat for 1FR just means repeat 4 times 1FR. 1FR just means one evenly distributed and equidistant size. So if you have 100 pixels, and you have 4 of 1FR, then that means that you're dividing that 100 by 4, giving you 25. So this means that we're saying that it's equal. And then I want gaps between. So the column gap, I want it to be 10 pixels. So this is the gap between the columns. And then the row gap, I want as 50 pixels. So now if I save this and I come back, here we see we have our component. That's it. A lot of this was just some pre-styling, but again, I don't want to waste too much time on styling. There's a lot of little details with styling that takes up a lot of time. That is not worth it when it comes to learning React. But in case you are curious about learning some of how CSS Grid works, I'm going to include a link to general documents around CSS Grid that is really helpful. The best way to learn CSS Grid is really just to tinker around with it. And I've given you kind of an environment so you can tweak some of these values, try out some of these values from the docs, and just see what the differences lie. So now that we have our product cards, what we want to do next is actually start seeing if we can add this to our cart. So that's what we're going to do in the next video.